Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we have another Luxe Chit Chat. We are going to talk about buying luxury when you are young. So on and off I do get little comments in some of my videos about spending, your hard-earned money, especially when you're young and buying luxury, and some of the comments are like, "Oh my gosh, I cannot believe you could do that." I actually have been thinking about it a little bit and I've sort of come to a little conclusion about why some of us, including myself, feel that way. So let's have a chat about it, and I'm gonna get ready as well. I have my mirror in front of me. If you are new to this channel, I love to do luxury related videos. I love to do bag reviews, skincare, makeup. I love to do unboxings. In fact, I do have an unboxing coming up. It is for my birthday. This is my birthday month, so I'm gonna use a little bit of makeup from my birthday haul as well. I've got a couple of things at the back. So if you like luxury related videos, I do hope you will subscribe and hit the notification bell as well. Otherwise, everyone, let's get started and talk about buying luxury. Okay, before we get started, comment down below how many of you have bought luxury when you were really young. So I'm gonna go like really young, let's say below 12 as the really young. So you're in your primary school, you're still in school, bought luxury, or you were given luxury things. Could be a Coach handbag, or maybe that's not, maybe we need to define luxury first. Maybe something like an LV bag. Okay, so we're going for at least the mid tier to the top tier. So not a Coach, something above that, even like I don't know, Burberry, that kind of luxury brands, a little bit more, okay, expensive. So let's talk about very young, so below 12, and then youngish, okay, youngish. So maybe below 20, so you're still in your university time. Either you bought it for yourself or you were given something below that age. And then we've got the sort of the working age group, so the 20s to the 30s, and then after that the 30s and above. So yeah, maybe just give a range in the comment section. So in today's video, I want to talk about like being young. So anything below 20 is young, I guess, because it's, you're just not really working yet. You are truly studying. You're sort of trying to make sense of what money is to you. So that's kind of the age group that I'm focusing on. If you've been following me for a while, you do know my background. I don't come from a rich family. My mom's a teacher, my dad's sort of like a civil engineer. So they kind of make ends meet with 3 kids, and they have never bought luxury in their lives. There's no Chanel, there's no LV in our lives. I think my mom's most expensive bag is actually from me, which is an LV bag, which I gave her later on. She does have a Burberry bag, but that's also mine. But in their own lives, they don't have any luxury. I'm the one that started to be more, I guess, adventurous and naughty with my money. And I always looked at magazines when I was young and looking at people and looking at bags, and I've always loved looking at bags and my mom's bags and all. Of course, not branded, like Bornia. If you're from Malaysia, you know Bornia. So my exposure was very limited. It's through TV, advertisements, it's through magazines, mainly magazines, Clio, Malaysia, Woman's World, is it Woman's World, Her World, Malaysian, all that. Okay, so that was me. Despite that, I did have some luxury, definitely nothing like the Burberry. I had my first Coach bag when I was 15. Yeah, 15, because I visited my brother in America and we went to a Coach shop, and because of the magazines I was like, oh my gosh, Coach. So I remember having that bag. I still have it actually today. I don't use it anymore because it's quite heavy. It's like a duffel bag, but I still have it, and it is definitely my first very expensive bag, and I love it so much. So I do have a lot of Coach until I started to work. So when I started to work, I used that paycheck and I bought myself my first LV bag, and that was in 2000 and I hope I'm getting the years right, but I think it was 2004 or 2003. So yeah, I think 2004. Yeah, I'm not mistaken, it was 2004. So that was a long time ago, but I'm just definitely in my 20s, and I don't know. I guess with maybe the new job, the exposure, you know, I see other people carrying the bag, and I thought, oh my gosh, I always wanted a speedy LV, and I got it. And from then on, you know, it was the adventure of Speedies, not Speedies, of LVs and other brands like Prada. I had the Miu Miu, not Miu Miu, the Moch, you know, the one that's kind of like ruffled and nylon like. So I had that. I had a Balenciaga bag. I also had a Bottega bag. So of course, in those 10 formative years in luxury, it was just those, you know, exploratory. But of course, among everyone else my age group, they were buying other things. You know, they were buying houses, they were starting families. For me, it was more of bags. Bags was my interest. So I would say I started youngish, definitely in my working years, when I started to earn, and it went downhill from there, I guess. I got my first Chanel bag, which is the jumbo right here, when I was 31. Was it 31? Yeah, 31 or 32. Was already in my 30s for sure, because I could not afford it before that. I was buying other things, but you know, maybe if I didn't buy those other things, I could have afford the bag, but I didn't. So that was my journey. So I got my Chanel bags, and then of course from now, I am 40 this year. So when I look back at it, I said, my gosh, I've been buying luxury for the past 20 years, nearly 20 years. And it's been a journey, you know, it's that kind of slow rise. But you know, in the past maybe 5 years, what I've realized, because you know, social media is now very, very, very apparent and strong, and everyone is on social media, whether it's on Instagram, YouTube, or even LinkedIn and all. You know, it's about that exposure, and I feel like a lot of younger people in their teens and early teens to early 20s are very, very exposed to luxury. And you know, I've heard of this word flex culture. You know, people buy because it's the whole bling culture. You want to show it off on IG, you want to show it off YouTube. There is also that aspect of it. But I have, you know, kind of realized like, wow, what if that was me? You know, in my 20s, can I even imagine buying that kind of luxury when I was that age? I couldn't even afford it. Like, I cannot even imagine buying a Chanel at 20. It's not my reality. So for the past couple of years, my initial reaction to very young, you know, IG people or people on YouTube buying luxury is sort of like, wow, how can they buy luxury? They're so young. But I've sort of taken a bit of time to kind of ask myself, why do I react that way? Is it out of shock, disbelief, or what's going on when I see a younger person buying luxury, and why do I react that way? So maybe being older, it is easier to admit mistakes, and it's easier to admit you were wrong because maybe you just don't care anymore. Like at this age, I sort of like have developed this sense of like, it doesn't matter anymore, right? You just say what you want to say, you do what you want to do. It doesn't matter as long as you are telling the truth and being truthful to yourself. So I thought about why do I react that way previously, and now I've sort of learned to quote unquote behave myself. One of the things I think, and you can definitely comment below and disagree with me, but one of the things I feel people who are maybe around this age, so the 40s, the late 30s, if you started your luxury later, so you're in the 50s, you started. One of the reasons why we react to the younger people, the younger folk buying luxury is because we're jealous of them. Deep down inside, you are, or I am, jealous that was not my life. So secretly, deep down inside, we're jealous, we're envious that why couldn't it be me? Like if I was in my young teens and in my 20s, and I am just flushed with, you know, funds to buy all the luxuries that I could, I would definitely do it, okay? But that's not my reality. my reality was that. And when I look back and I see these IGs and like, whoa, with all the Birkins and Kellys and, you know, Chanels, and I was like, wow, how can they buy so much? But why react so negatively? Because I feel like it's something that I need to sort of change my mindset. I have, but it's really kind of coming out to say that, you know, we shouldn't be reacting in such a way. We're like, whoa, instead, you know, whoa, wow, that's really amazing. How did you do it? And whether they come from wealth or they've saved their money, whatever it is their choice. So there's no need to impose like, oh my gosh, how could you spend that kind of money? I think secretly, deep down inside all of us, we are the older generation, envious, jealous, a little bit like, I wish, you know, that was me. And it is humbling to admit it, because today, the reality of these kids are so much different. So that brings me to my next point. So let me just put my eyebrows on, otherwise I'll just keep talking. We lead such different lives. My life comes from my parents. So my parents, they were the 1940s kids, right? So they lived through just the World War II, right? I think it just finished in 1945. So my parents were born just after that. But right after that, you know, it's really poor, it's tough life, and my grandparents lived through the war. So this whole reality is when you want to bring up your kids not to suffer like how they did. And my parents would tell me all kinds of stories and I'll be like, oh my gosh. But the kids of today, they have a different reality, because me, if I had kids, my kids would be like 20 already, right? Early teens. We are in a very different position, right? Because we know a better life, we know better things, we eat better foods, we have so much technology development, we have so much convenience. So our kids will only know better, and to be better, you have to know better. So that's why, in a way, I feel like it's kind of like our faults as well, because if I had kids, I would want them to enjoy even more things than I did. So when I was young, I maybe didn't play with Barbie dolls. Oh my gosh, my kids would be tons of toys, okay? So yeah, definitely will spoil them. And different kind of values to give them. They would know things that I didn't know, and I want them to know it. So, but I want them to know from a better position already. Social media is not the be-all. The reality is what we see in life. And honestly, even today when I walk outside and I see in the malls and all, the younger folk, so the younger generation, or Generation Z, I guess you would call them, they are so much more knowledgeable. They are so much more well off. You know, they have the means through the parents or through themselves, because a lot of them are very, very capable to afford the luxuries that we who love luxury wish we could. So that jealousy comes from the different realities that we lived, and we shouldn't be imposing that kind of realities on them. So besides my own reflection on my mindset, I also decided to talk about this topic is because sometimes in my comment section, I get I just get comments, maybe on comments on certain things. You know, it doesn't come often, where I don't know if they're real followers or not, where comments come out like, oh my gosh, she buys so much, or he buys so much because they're in debt, racking up tons of credit card bills, or, you know, things like that. And why do we do that? Why do we have such disbelief on someone else's purchasing power that we always think negatively? Like, we'll imagine that whether they're racking up the debt, or they are borrowing from people, or it's not their own, or they're lying of their jobs. I just don't understand why we do that. Like, why do we just not let people live the way they want to live. If they want to rack up the debt, that's up to them. But to be, almost, what's that word? Vicious and toxic about it. Live and let live, right? Live and let live. Whatever people want to do, they do, and be happy for them. That's something that I work on myself every single day. And not that I'm a jealous person, it's because I'm a competitive person. And I know a lot of you out there have a little bit of that competitive nature, especially if you're a woman. Unfortunately, we have this always want to up another person. So of course today at this age, I don't do it anymore. But if you ask me in my 20s, I was so competitive. I was like competing on so many things, which stressed me out. But people would say, oh my gosh, she's so motivated. But it's not. It's a wrong kind of motivation, because I was either competing with my looks, or competing with what I wore, or competing, and this competition was all up here for no reason. It's just so ingrained, and because of that, I can never be 100% happy for a person. Fast forward to today, it's a totally flip of the coin. I can be, but I still have to sometimes pull myself back when I could almost be toxic for certain things, maybe especially with people maybe I don't like. Then I'll be like, but before I decide to be sitting in that emotion, I would say, hey, why are you doing that? It doesn't benefit anyone. It actually hurts you. So I'm trying to be, just to be more happy. And when when you let go of things like that, dang, life is good, okay? You just like live and let live, be happy for others. So coming back to the topic of, being young and buying luxury, I'm actually very happy for all of them. I look at them and just go like, wow, it's an achievement that I wish I could have had when I was that age. I wish that that was my reality. It's not that I want to change my reality. I'm very proud of where I am today, and those 20 years of experience brought me to a different life. But sort of like in a parallel universe, I'll be like, wow, what if that was me? I could have all these things when I was young, and I think it would be different. The grass is always greener on the other side, of course. So yeah, do what you want to do, and for us to be happy for everyone, okay? Don't need to be toxic, and the moment that we feel that we are going to be toxic, pause, have a moment, and then react. Because sometimes the first reaction is that burst. Before we finish off, I want to do a little survey. So comment down below, especially if you have children. If you've got kids, so the either very young or the youngish, so the below 21 or below 12, how many of you have bought presents for your kids? And luxury presents. So whether it's a beautiful Tiffany necklace, or maybe a LV bag. So we're talking luxury, okay? So we're not talking like some bag, not a Hello Kitty bag, like luxury. I want to know, and there's no judgment, because like I said earlier, if you're watching me, probably if I look at my analytics, we're about the same age-ish. You could be in the 30s, 40s, and I know I have some, older crowd that watches my videos as well. But if you're around the same age, I'm sure some of you have children, you have family. So just curious to know if you have exposed your children to luxury, because we're all luxury lovers, right? If I had a kid, and if my kid's a daughter, I'm gonna be one of those moms that my parents would say, why you buy so many expensive things for your kids? I have a niece who follows me. Oh my gosh, she follows me. She knows all about the brands thanks to the auntie. But she's gonna be one who's exposed to it thanks to me. She's a lucky kid because I don't have kids. My bags are gonna go to her, whichever that's left behind. She's gonna get some of these. If she doesn't like bags, that's an issue, okay? But if she does, it's all hers. So yeah, I just want to know like if any of you have exposed your children to luxury, and no judgment, okay? Because I've exposed my niece to it. My brother probably hates me. It's the new reality, right? Whether it's us directly or through social media, it's everywhere. It's not like last time where you actually have to go to a bookstore, buy a magazine, or watch on TV. And on TV, they don't really, expose you to luxury. You see some movies on it, but it doesn't really, hit the brain, right? You see some bag, but you're like, oh, that's a nice bag, but you don't know the brands, you don't know anything. But now with social media, with YouTube, with everything, oh my gosh, it's all here. All the knowledge is in your hands. Very, very easy. Makeup is done. And yeah, I guess in summary, I think buying luxury when you're young in today's day and age is absolutely fine. If you as a parent can afford it for your children, go ahead. If they can afford it, let them do what they want to do. Just as for us who maybe have a different life and a different reality, whether it's work, culture, family, buying different things when we're young, we should learn to be less judgmental about it and live and let live, and just be happy that they can experience what we couldn't when we were young. So yeah, be happy for them. Just be happy. So anyway, if you enjoyed today's little Luxe Chit Chat, I do hope you will give it a thumbs up. I'm looking forward to reading all your comments. And like I said, if you are not subscribed, I do hope you will subscribe. I would love to have you back here again so we can have another Luxe Chit Chat. There will be a haul coming up, so look out for that as well. Anyway, everyone, please take care. You stay safe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!